This is genius.
This is Joe Rogan, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowmen.
I've never seen so many mullets in my life.
No, it's just about feeling good.
You had more chins than a Chinese phone book for a while.
Man.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. I mean, he's right. He said, "Goonies never say die." We're going.
We got this.
All right.
I was pulling the trigger, but the safety was on.
I just Randy Black Eagle.
That's it. Boom.
That's my.
That's how we roll. Just drop the mic and walk away.
Hello, all right. You're listening to the Gritty Bowmen, home of gritty bow hunting films, interviews, tall tales, and a wee bit of manly boasting.
I'm South Cox, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowmen.
The best way to do this is like to just start.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you can back out. All right, folks, welcome to the Gritty Bowmen podcast. I am joined tonight with Amanda and Jesse Wise.
Yep.
And this is really cool because we just suckered Amanda into doing this.
We figured nobody would listen to me.
That's right.
Come out to train to hunt. And then we're like, well, nobody's going to come out if I tell them, but if Amanda tells them, they might.
Yes. And you guys competed together.
Yeah.
In the train to hunt event.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Yep.
And Amanda you've killed a couple of animals with your bow, right?
One animal.
I've killed one with my bow, yep.
Yeah, and one with a gun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that said, we're real professional here. I got this. Well, anyway, we've got some really great train to hunt events coming up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, Jesse, we wanted to get on here and let people know what was going on, do a little podcast on it, and get people prepped. So before we get into some of the dates and details of the trips, there's a lot of people out there that have heard of Train to Hunt now. We've done a couple of podcasts. People are listening. But we haven't heard from Amanda what Train to Hunt's all about, what it's like, and competing together. And I've gotten to know Jesse a little bit better. We've been hanging out, and how is he as a partner? Because, he's not dead weight. I mean, he can push you kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah, specifically talking about train to hunt?
Yes.
Okay.
Not like what it's like to live with him.
Not like my life partner? Okay.
Right, totally.
All right.
Because I'm perfect at life partnering.
Wow. Well, sorry, I'm still absorbing that I'm sitting here and how this even happened. But this is actually a great example of how Train to Hunt happened for me, because I feel like this is a perfect example. Kind of the story of my life with Jesse is I somehow get reined into things very last minute. And Train to Hunt was exactly one of these situations right here that I'm sitting in now, where Jesse just signed me up or pop me in there. So when I did,
people need pushed over the edge.
Yeah. Jesse seems to just go for it.
He does. Yeah. And he likes to take me with him whether I want to or not. But it's good. It pushes me in good ways. That's actually our elk hunt this year.
Yeah.
That I didn't know was my elk hunt. I found out on the way there, that it was for me. Everybody's going to help me get an elk. So yeah, he likes to throw me some surprise. I do love surprises, but these ones, they've been different. Yeah. So Train to Hunt, when that first year was the very first year?
2014.
Was black. No, the black. Okay. 2013 was the very first one I'd ever done.
2013.
And that was one of those things for me too, where Jesse, just told me about Train to Hunt. He had heard about it. He wanted to try it and said, you should try it. And I said, I hadn't even been working out at that point in life and regularly. I think I was just starting to maybe run once in a while. And anyway, it was not on my radar at all. And I think it was on our anniversary, actually, that we were driving home.
So wait a minute. How does he spring this? Like, what does he do exactly?
Well, I'm kind of learning this slowly myself. I think I need to catch on a little quicker to the cues. But so, for example, we were driving home from our anniversary that year, and he was just telling me about it and said, you should think about doing this sometime. Well, if I make the mistake of going, oh, yeah, I'll think about it, sometime futuristically, he takes that as, I have a wide open space to toss her in.
Yeah.
So his response to that
was a yes. So you're saying there's a chance.
Well, it's kind of like my kids, right? Sorry to interrupt, but it's kind of like our kids. If we don't say no, that's a yes. And so they just do it. And so it's like, she didn't say no, it's a yes.
So he took it upon himself to register me. And let me know that he had signed me up for Train to Hunt. That's another way he gets me to do things is I don't like wasting money. I'm kind of a miser.
She's very frugal.
And so then I feel like, great, now I have to because we've invested in this. So that point, I had 2 weeks to start working out, start shooting my bow, and I showed up there. I mean, for 2 weeks, I just bellyached about this event. But anyway, we showed up in Blackfoot, and I competed in the women's open there, and it was intense. But once I hear go, then I'm all in, and it was good, and I was glad that I did it. And
you did women's and you did men's separately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and who walked away with a medal and who didn't walk away with a medal?
I had a much smaller category competitor.
So she shows up there, and I'm working out for 2 weeks, right, and shooting her bow barely that I had just bought her, and she happens to be in first place at the end of the first day, and then the 3D shoot came, and then she got second place overall. She lost first place by 12 seconds.
Clearly, somebody has better genetics.
Yes,
in this.
Clearly. No, I don't think it's genetics because it's mental. She's way more mentally tough than any other human being ever. I mean, seriously, it's just like she can't, like when we work out together or whatever, I'm always the one like way ahead or behind her, pushing her up the trail. I don't want to do this. But the minute she's in competition or she hears 3, 2, 1, go or anything like that, it's like this
beast comes
beautiful woman turns into a beast and just destroys the competition. So and as you might hear, destroys like her partner as well. I should just tie a rope to her and hold on.
No, not at all. Yeah, so that was how I first got reined into these, and so then after that I kind of thought, okay, well, I satisfied. I did what you wanted me to do.
My duty.
I'm good. And Jesse was just getting started. He was like, no. And I think it was the following year was it the first time they had a co-ed event, I think.
Yes.
So Jesse was all about that. Amanda, we should do this together again. I had said, I don't know. I'll think about it. I was kind of wanting to be done. And then we mysteriously got signed up. But we have 5 kids. And at that time, especially, my littlest was 4 and 5. And, I'm homeschooling now, but I didn't feel, for me, I wanted to be able to train and to be able to put in what I felt like I needed to put in, because I'd look and Jesse would show me these videos, and there's people, they're really intense, and their lives, a big portion of their lives go to working out and fitness. Well, that's not realistic for me.
And a lot of kids.
Yeah. And I'm happy about it. I like serving my family, and I like what I have going on, but I like working out as well, but I can't give it what I would want to even want to put myself in a position of competing. I don't like to lose, to be honest. I'm kind of a terrible loser, and so
like at Connect 4
or Battleship. It doesn't matter.
That's real. That's real for me. I can't lie. So I don't like to lose. So anyway, for me, it was just it didn't even make sense for me to want to compete if I felt like I couldn't. Do well. But that's been a learning process for me as well too. Just this has been one of the main things that God has used me to teach me so many things about myself and my insecurities and failures. And so I've just grown a lot as a human through these Train to Hunt events and as a woman, and just learning not to be so afraid of failure, and learning that failure can be a good thing, and encourages me to push harder. And so anyway, when we ended up getting signed up for this co-ed, so that was 2014. So we went out and competed as a co-ed couple in Tamarack that year in Idaho. And when we showed up, we were the only co-ed couple to be, to show up. So that was kind of disappointing because we wanted to be able to.
You wanted to crush someone, didn't you?
We just wanted to know where we actually would stand, and so
you don't want to win by default.
Yeah, it's not fun getting a medal by default. So so we obviously took a gold home, but it wasn't like it just.
And that was the first year that we had a nationals a national championship in Train to Hunt.
That's right.
And so that's kind of what we wanted to do. We did have plans to compete in other events and other qualifiers as individuals, but we wanted to go to nationals as a couple.
Yeah.
And compete there as a couple. So when we showed up to Tamarack, I kept texting Kenton or calling him and just, hey, is any other co-ed couple signed up yet? And I think he said that there was one other couple, but then one of them like sprained their ankle or something like that the day before.
Pansies.
Just wrap it up, Buttercup. But yeah, so we ended up winning by default, and I never wore my medal, until.
So how was the training together and then competing together? What was that like?
Well, the training together.
Were you like, come on, Jesse, move your fat butt, or anything like that?
Not during training. When we were training, it was quite opposite because.
Well, I didn't say move your fat butt though.
Yeah, he didn't say that, thankfully. But anyway, Jesse was really. I feel like you were really diligent at being able. He'd get home from work and work
Put in
out.
the time.
Yeah, and for me, I was a little bit more scattered. Because it was usually like right around when time for me to make dinner when he was ready to work out, and then getting kids to bed. So it was a little harder for me to be consistent like I had wanted. So I think I worked out probably a few times a week at that point leading up to Tamarack, and then but yeah, it would be like we would be running. And, he'd be way ahead, and then I'd just get discouraged and frustrated and think, why am I doing this stupid thing, and how are we going to be a team? But Jesse, there was a few times I remember he'd come back, and I'd just be like, just dragging and just so out of shape and just climbing these hills. And he would come back and, to kind of put out his hand and be like, come on, babe, we got it. And so then we'd start running, and there's just something about that for me. Well, for anybody, just it always felt discouraging when I couldn't see him, but for him to come back and just stick with me, and that it was just part of us learning how to be a team, and that's really helped us in our marriage as well. It kind of highlighted some areas that maybe we need to work on and wait for each other and encourage each other in. And so for us as a married couple, it was really a powerful time, that training. But certainly, I was the one dragging in the training periods, and then we did Tamarack, and then we had what did we have? A month until nationals, and so that month my goal was to try to work out every day. Which, for me, it meant like run 2 miles and do a Jillian Michaels video. That's about the time I could put in. And but I just thought, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. And I also competed in the Women's Open that year in Oregon. And so
and won it.
Well, there was only a couple of us in Oregon.
Yeah, but Lindsay Niestrath is pretty fit. So
she's a rock star.
You killed her.
I did not kill her. Lindsay, don't listen to Jesse. We know that's not true. Anyway, and so, at that point, then I thought, that'd be kind of fun, maybe just to compete in the women's Open and Nationals too. So I was kind of torn on.
And I was like, hey, wait a second.
What am I, dead weight?
Throws me out with dead weight.
And Jesse reminded me, remember that I was the one that thought of this and I wanted to try to go to nationals with you. So it's like, okay. And there's a lot less stress in that for me thinking about going to nationals as a co-ed couple anyway. So then it just became fun. And I thought we had no idea what to expect because we didn't compete with anybody yet. And, Kenton had let us know, he'd kind of, there's a couple coming that's, maybe a little stronger than you guys or maybe so. But he said, I really think you guys should just come out. So I thought, what the heck? Let's just go out and have fun and just love on people and get to know people. And so we did. And so, and nationals, it was the same thing. Just, once, and then showing up, we show up and one of the couples that we competed against, they're both CrossFit trainers. And then the other couple were professional archers, and they spend so much of their life shooting. And so here's me, mom and pops from Corvallis, Oregon at the time. And I got there and thought, what are we doing here? And Jesse was just like, remember, Amanda, we're just going to have fun. But each of these events, I would get so much anxiety beforehand, honestly, just as my insecurities would arise.
Because guess what? You care. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'm like, let's go. Let's talk to some people. If I do well, great. If I don't, I don't really care. So I don't really stress out too much. And it's sort of like the same with the podcast. I don't stress out too much about it because for the most part, I don't really care.
Yeah.
If people get, I'm just like, I'm here, I'm me, I'm doing my thing, and
Yeah.
you can like it or
if
not
people
like it.
don't like it, they can go listen to somebody else.
But my wife is a lot like you.
Yeah.
Like, she cares.
Yeah.
It matters.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so, we kind of do this thing back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
see some similarities here. I also dump her into podcasts like this. I haven't yet, but it's coming. It's like I didn't tell you guys were coming over tonight until like about when you texted me, so I'll be there in an hour. I'm like, by the way, they're coming over and their whole family. And she's like,
She knows that.
she's like, what? And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
there's no point in telling you this morning because then you'll just stress about it all day. Now you only stress for an hour.
You did it out of love.
It
right?
was
Wow.
absolutely.
You guys, I don't know.
We do it because we care.
Well, anyway.
But so you're feeling anxiety about this whole
Yeah,
thing.
I was
because-
feeling anxiety, especially showing up because these people obviously, a lot of them were fit, and I just felt really out of my element, and I was serious about it. So yeah, I mean, it was just interesting. But once we, it was great. It's great starting the events because you start now with your first day. It used to be that you would start with the actual challenge course the first day, but now it's changed where you start the 3D course the first day. And I think that helps a ton in dealing with anxiety because you just get to casually walk along and shoot with people and get to know people, and everybody's a lot of people are feeling the same way, and you kind of get to process that, things together. And so that helps a lot. So that was really fun, just being able to shoot with people and to talk to our competitors and get to know them. And so it was fun. But yeah, and then
like I've done a bunch of CrossFit competitions, just local ones and stuff for fun because the guys at the gym sucker me into going because you got to go. We're all going. You know what I mean? So, but I don't get to the gym as much as they do. I don't get to put as much time in as they do. I'm sort of, I got other things that compete with my time and priority and stuff. And so then I go to these events and I feel like I'm so like, there's these people that spend so much more time on it, and I really don't feel prepared. But I'm always pleasantly surprised where I end up at the end of it. It's not like, I gave it everything I had, and sometimes I'm like, you didn't do half bad,
Yeah.
So did you guys just get your butts kicked, or did you do pretty good?
Yeah, we did pretty good. We kind of won the whole thing.
Okay. How did that happen? Let's hear this.
Well, the first day, so we were pretty, optimistic because the couple, TJ,
Who?
TJ and Justin, they're married now.
And just welcome their first baby.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Yeah, and so they had just started shooting, right? So we thought, okay, they just started shooting, so we got them on the 3D.
They haven't been practicing enough, or but
yeah,
enough
they just started
experience
3 months before nationals, right?
Yeah.
So,
And I had a whole 2 months on them. In my
Yeah.
bow,
but
you
I
know,
mean,
so-
Nice.
but she's married to me. So
Yeah, so and you're dead eye. So
pretty much, man.
Oh, boy.
I mean, we
killed.
have yet to compete in a 3D competition together, but I'm pretty sure I could kick your butt.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean,
Anyways,
I'm not like, if I have to guess yardage, it's over.
Yeah,
I have no clue.
that's
Like, I'm not the best about that.
I
at
like
all.
doing that.
Yeah.
though. So
I mean, I'm getting, but you give me a rangefinder, and if I'm not breathing heavy, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty dang good.
You would suck at train to hunt.
That's what I'm afraid of.
No,
We
train
did
to
a
hunt would help you on this.
We did a train to hunt thing the other day at his house, and we did the whole running thing, and I'm not a bad shot, Well, this is the first time I'm doing it while breathing heavy.
With an
Yeah.
elevated heart rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
needless to say. I mean,
Makes a big difference.
I was probably more like a crippler on that.
Yeah.
day.
No, you did good, man. You did really good. But so the first day ends. We ended the 3D shoot.
Yeah.
In second place.
3D?
The 3D shoot, yeah. And we were down 20 points, so we dropped 4 targets, I think, on the people that were in first place. But then we're like, oh, man, we can make it up in the meat pack, right? So we didn't think that we would, from what Kenton had said about this, CrossFit couple, we didn't think that we probably won't beat them, but we can keep pace with them or try to pace them.
Yeah.
And but Kenton had the weights, like it was 180 pounds for a co-ed couple together to carry, right? Well, both the other couples chose to split the weight unevenly. Like the men started off with 130 pounds or 35 pounds, and the girls took 130 pounds, and the girls took 50, and they just took off, right, running. Well, if you've ever run with 50 pounds on your back, I mean, for me and you to do it, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
But then, so they ran through the course thinking that they would get done with it, empty their packs, run back, take the 30 pounds off their husband's back, and then their husbands still had to run with 100 pounds on their back. Well, since Amanda's such a beast, I just threw 80 pounds on her back, and I put 100 on mine, and we just trucked it through the whole course. Well, we ended up killing it.
Yeah.
Right? And we got first place in that event. So
I've packed out, 120 plus loads. When you start getting up, above 120, at least for me, 120, and you're really booking it, I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. So you put 150 pounds on a guy, and you're like, okay, good luck. It's way...
It was warm, too. It was not
it was
high
warm,
elevation.
and then about 7,000 feet.
And I think women are really tough and can endure a lot of pain, hence childbirth. So it's like I'm all for loading my wife up.
Me too, man. I mean, I think she could take it. But it was funny because
those guys are just nicer than us.
Yeah, I think
the meat pack is where, that's the long haul. The endurance part of that is just where I'm just sucking out. We're on the meat pack, right? And that the endurance part of that is just, it kills me. Like with 100 pounds on, and I'm, and I'm using a pack that, isn't really high quality. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, you should have been wearing a Kafaru.
Probably should have. But, those things are spendy. Or EXO. Well, so, originally, we thought we'd have to do 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm like, babe, you're going to have to. Well, no, it was 250. I was going to carry 150. She was going to carry 100. Right? Mm-hmm. And so then Kenton hadn't told any of us what the weights were going to be, right? So then, so before this, we put 120 pounds on her back as she walked around with it for a little bit, thinking, I just need to get her used to 120. Then that way 100 will feel light. Well, then he just dropped the weight by a bunch,
right?
So then 80 felt light.
80 felt. She was running with 80
pack,
on.
and a good
pack. She had an EXO pack on, and it really fit her well, And so we take off, and we're just burning along, right? And we're the only ones that brought water.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hot and elevated, and it was hilarious.
It's not funny.
It's really funny.
It's not. It's one of my worst moments.
She doesn't like it because she's competitive, right? We've established the competitive nature of my wife. Well, we go by these guys. We're on the downhill slope going down, and these guys are like, I'm so thirsty. And here's Amanda with the water open, sloshing it out of the thing.
I wasn't sloshing it out.
It was sloshing out. She's taking drinks.
Okay.
Are you thirsty?
Okay. So just to clarify on that, I was hustling past these guys, and these poor guys are slugging along, and it's hot. And I heard one of them say, what I would do to have a drink of water. I was like, what kind of human am I? I really don't know. And I had this thought as I was walking past them, and my first instinct was to extend my arm and hand him my water bottle as I walked by.
Right.
But then I had this thought that my other water bottle was in Jesse's pack in the side pockets, and when we came over the thing, one of them had dropped out, and I didn't know if he had picked it up or had another one, and I had no idea how long the course was. Well, on courses and running, I have to have water. Even I pack it all the time. Jesse is like a camel. He doesn't even need to drink water when he's working out, but I do. And so I went to extend it to them, and I thought, oh my gosh, what if Jesse didn't grab the other water? So then I kind of brought my hand back in and kept trucking along.
You're like,
But later, I mean, I got home after that competition and I cried about that. I was like, oh man, what a terror. Like someone was thirsty. I didn't give him a drink. And I felt so bad about that.
I feel like that's gamesmanship right there. It's
you
just
know, it's
part
your
of,
fault for not bringing water on the course, bro.
I mean, I would love to help you out, but
But
loser.
Glug, 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 glug.
Oh man.
Or you just throw the water next to them so they have to like.
Turned off course a little.
Anyways, we ended up just killing it. And then okay, so she feels bad about that, right?
Yeah.
She feels bad about that. But here's Jessie coming up the hill. I need some water. And she's like 10 feet ahead of me. And she's like, you better get up here and get it then. You better get up here and get
I
it
was
then.
not gonna
and
turn
she
around.
she didn't stop
or slow down.
and she just held it behind her, kept going, right?
Well, I turned around at one point and I saw Jesse by a bench, and I could see that he was thinking of sitting
thinking
down.
wow,
And I said,
that
"What
looks
are
good."
you doing? Don't you dare sit down!" And then that's when he's like, "I'm so thirsty." I was like, "Well, you." And then I just started walking faster and kind of jingling that, but it got him coming. It got him moving. Anyway.
So that's.
But yeah, it was a good race. It was fun, and we were really dragging. So again, in training, he's the pusher, and then in our competitions, it was the other way around, where I just really wanted to see that finish line. And so, but then I remember on the end of that course, there was a gentleman there toward the end as you were dragging that encouraged you. And man, Jesse just took off that last leg, and he came running in over the
something like an old military man's yelling hoorah at you in a gruff voice.
Yeah.
He basically said, "You're not a man if you slow down."
Yeah.
And if your wife beats
He
you
basically
across the
said,
line,
"Man
so,
up," and
man up, sucker.
Yeah.
And that's
there.
good. You need
was
people
good.
like that.
Yeah, it was great. So that's
So
It's our first, yeah.
So and now you help with Train to Hunt.
Yeah. So after last year, Kenton opened up positions for directors, and I don't even remember if there was any formal will you be a director or whatever. I don't know how I became a director even. So I was like, yeah, I'm on board. I'm all in. And basically Train to Hunt to me was, I just saw, I think we had already discussed this in our last podcast that we did with Ken and I and you, but it's just like I saw that I wanted to get in shape. I saw, like Cam Haynes posting all this fitness stuff, and so I would run and stuff, and then I saw Train to Hunt, and I was like, dang, man, that looks awesome. So I just jumped in with both feet and went for it, and it changed not only my hunting life. I could never go where the elk are because I couldn't pack it out.
Yeah.
It changed my hunt. Not only changed my hunting, but it changed my life. Before that, I didn't work out a lot, ate a lot of ice cream.
Did he really, Amanda?
Ice cream.
did.
And by a lot.
Are we talking past tense?
Was he
Sorry.
was he a bad eater before Train to Hunt? Was he like a mac and cheese guy or
No, well, he wasn't a lot. It wasn't necessarily mac and cheese because I cook for him, but it was more, definitely ice cream.
yeah.
Fat. I mean, I don't know that you eat a lot of fast food, but he just didn't ever he didn't think too much about the fuel that was going into his body, and that was kind of one of our things that we didn't see eye to eye on for a lot of years, especially when our kids were younger. I mean, he was supportive of me having our kids eat healthy, but he was also supportive of, regular Slurpees and things like this too. So
no, I was supportive of a milkshake every day, whether I needed it or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Speaking of this, this is a good time to address this because while we're on it. So
yeah, thanks for inviting her on the show, Brian.
So this is making me think of Jesse is now, and I'm super proud of him for it, but he has taken a great interest in his health and fitness in the last few years. I never would have thought that. I used to try to get Jesse to work out with me and run with me, and he would say, only if I'm being chased by an animal am I going to run. And so that was just a few years back. So it's really neat to see how this has just become a part of Jesse's life that I think will follow, that he'll do for the rest of his life, that we will hopefully. Yeah. Just fitness and working out, but now it's even affecting the way that he eats. Yeah, now he's really interested in eating well. In this transition of him eating well, after all these years of me trying to establish things with my kids and trying to talk to Jesse about the things we're putting in our bodies, now all of a sudden Jesse's the expert the last few months, and he wants to tell me after all these years of me trying to enlighten him and help him. And so after like a podcast he did with you and Kenton at some point, I think, and
probably ATA show.
Yeah, ATA show, and she was listening to it, by the way. And I was like watching her, and she'd be like, "You don't know that." I'm like, that's why I didn't say much. I was just like, yeah. And I was like, you didn't know that about good fats. I do now.
Anyway, it was just funny. So anyway, but there was a couple things. One, he remembered the story about Ezra and the bagel wrong which is, I understand we forget things as we get older, but
this was the portion of the last podcast that I did with you that I threw you and Kenton under the bus.
Yeah, but one of the things he had said was that I was in this grocery store and I walked Ezra past donuts, and I told him, "Oh, those aren't donuts." Well, I wasn't there, but what had happened was Jesse had taken him to the store, and Ezra said, "What are those? Or look at those sprinkled covered bagels." Mm-hmm. And Jesse said, "Those aren't bagels, those are donuts." Well, at that point in life, Jesse came back and got on me like, "I can't believe my kid doesn't know what a donut is." And I was like, "What? That's a good problem, But now the tables are turned. So, and then on that podcast, you kind of threw your wife under the bus about, cereal, like grains coming in the house and
never
throwing them away. So anyway, there was a few weeks ago, I was cooking and I ran out of olive oil. So I found in my pantry this bottle of vegetable oil that I use just in that moment. Olive oil and coconut oil is what I cook with. And Jesse Mr. Knowledge happens to walk in and go, "What are you doing cooking with vegetable oil? You need to get rid of that stuff. You shouldn't have that in our house." And I look at him
it's more like I grabbed the jug and I'm like, "What is this doing in my kitchen?
Yeah.
How dare you bring this?"
And I was so offended because I was like, I told him, "Do not, Brian, call me," because I was like,
I'm a verb now.
You are, man.
So all these years that I've been trying to like educate him, and then he doesn't do anything in my kitchen hardly except for eat, which I don't mind. But and then all of a sudden he wants to come in and educate me on my oil that this one time I'm using.
You're like, "I know this, but you're eating this tonight."
But anyway,
I'm just gonna dump it all over you.
So that was the night that you became a verb in our house. But anyway, but it's good. I like that Jesse's becoming aware of what is going in his body.
Well, I tell you, when you exercise, you push it. It's really hard to come home, and then for me, I'm just more cognizant of what I put in my body because I'm using it all the time. So I want to fuel it differently. And I think it also drives appetite differently.
Yeah, definitely.
When I'm not working out, I kind of feel like donuts and soda. Mm-hmm. Like if I just don't do anything ever, I crave a lot more sugar. When I work out and I crave water, protein,
fat.
Veggies, fat. Yep. I crave like good stuff. Mm-hmm. And when I don't exercise days and days and days on end, it's very easy to just
let yourself
go.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
And so I find that your appetite changes when you're actually using your body, pushing your body.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what is the most, Amanda, for you, what is the most rewarding part, the best part of the whole train to hunt life that you've kind of taken on?
I think that's hard for me to pick one thing because there's been a lot of good things that have come from it.
One of your favorite things?
One of my favorite things about Train to Hunt 1 was, I think, just to see how far I could push myself and how good it felt, and the community there. So, like I said, going to these things and some of these people, it's kind of intimidating. Some of the events there were bodybuilders, and then even at nationals that year, I'm over there doing my little arm stretches, and TJ's walking past me on her hands, and I'm thinking, what? Like, what the heck? What am I doing here? But at the same time, it really is for everybody, and that's not. It's not everybody there. Not everybody's CrossFitters, but I've never done CrossFit before, and I was new to it both, so it was intimidating, but it was just so great because one, I got to face some of those fears through Train to Hunt.
Yep.
And two, the community was so incredible. Just, I mean, your own competitors most always are cheering for you.
Yeah.
And the family that we've made through Train to Hunt, it's almost like these events, you know, I don't think I'm going to be competing this year because of just things that are going on. But I am looking forward to going to the event and it's almost like
hanging
a
out.
family reunion.
Totally.
Like, who's going to be there? And I can't wait to see them. So that's been really special for me and for what it did for Jesse and I. You know, just learning to be a team and just how that's
Support
carried
each
into
other.
our marriage and just how it's, you know, we were able to be surprised by that together. And, you know, that year that we won, we were absolutely surprised when we came over the finish line each time, you know, I think we came over the finish line first on both events, and it was for us. But that didn't mean we won, you know, until the win. We had no idea,
Right,
and it wasn't even on our
There's-
radar that we
yeah.
won. But coming over the finish line first, in my mind, I didn't even have to win. I was so thrilled that we were capable of like coming in over the finish line
Finishing
first,
it.
and
Yeah.
it just did something really really big for me. But then at the end of the weekend, when all the points were accumulated, and you know they get to the first place winner and called our name, and then I was floored. Like, I mean, I was my ugly cry face on camera. I couldn't even believe it. But it was so much more than winning, because when I was standing up there on that podium, it wasn't like this accomplishment of I won Train to Hunt. It was this accomplishment of look what I had to walk through and face. Look at these insecurities and these fears, and that I've learned to fail better, and I've learned to improve, and what it's done for us. So it was just such an amazing
And
experience.
what's kind of sad sometimes is there are people that were like you guys. You won, okay? You won, but you could have easily just not done it because you're not going to win anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and yet you did, and so sometimes I think we underestimate our capabilities, what we can do,
Yeah.
just as
Absolutely.
people, and so going out and testing yourself, you know, facing that fear of losing, which really at the end of the day is such a minor thing.
It
you
is.
know,
It's a competition. That's
is.
what, I mean,
Yeah.
even, you know, this year we competed again as a co-ed couple.
nobody's out there like laughing at you guys going, they're such losers, they came in last. Nobody does that, right? And yet we're thinking everyone's going to ridicule me
Yeah.
or something. It's,
Well, you know,
I
for
like
me,
that.
me, it's not about what people are thinking. It's it's myself. Like I'm like my own worst slave
you-
driver. I push myself hard. So it was
You
for
and like
me
my
just
buddy Anthony. It's like, why do you got to be so hard on yourself?
yeah. It's a competitive mind,
some
but
people-
it's just like it's a mind thing, and that's what I
Yeah.
learned about Train to Hunt is, you know, some of the physical strength I may not have had as other people, but it's so much about your mind and how far you're willing to keep pushing yourself and keep dragging your body along. And it's just, I think that's such a great, that's something that we need to do in life anyway, whether it's just a competition or a marriage or just a struggle in life. I mean, that's a real life thing that we need to be trained in, is just that mental capacity, and Train to Hunt definitely helped me in that for sure, to see what I was capable of there. So
Yeah, and I mean, I was speaking to that too. Is just like that. You know, I was that person that was just relegated to just being unfit. You know, I am. You know, I'm over 30. You know, I'm not young and vivacious anymore. It's like,
Speak for yourself, dude.
but
Vivacious?
No,
I don't know what that means.
Va-va-voom. I mean,
well, you know,
know.
I throw a few out there from time to time, make myself sound smart. No, but you know, I mean, this is before I did it. You know, before I did Train to Hunt, and you know, I had that mindset of like, honey, I'll work out when I'm hunting. You know, I'll
Right.
just go hike.
I'll get
you
my
know?
mountain legs after a few days.
Exactly, and I'll be
you know.
fine. You know, and it wasn't, and I was just lying to myself, and she would be like, right. And so, but then I saw Train to Hunt, and it was like, oh, I need to do something like that. Like, I wanted to start getting into shape already, and then Train to Hunt came along, and I was like, I need to do that. And then I had like this moment where I could have been like that guy that went, nah, that's too embarrassing. I don't want to show up and get last place and have everybody like,
Yeah.
what a loser, you know. And I did show up, and I did get last place, and everybody cheered for me like I got first. and everybody's like congratulating me because I ran my butt off. And all the trad guys beat me too. Although I do have to say that one of the trad guys was Matthew Davis. So, it's like.
Well, the truth is, like, some of this stuff, it's like I said, I think we get in our head, that winning is so important. And then,
You don't
whatever
enjoy the
those
journey.
fears are, like whether they're self-imposed, you'll be disappointed in yourself, or someone else will be disappointed in you. Either way, again, I think, like, I've learned this from the CrossFit gym that I go to. It's like full of like soccer moms and like old people.
Mm-hmm.
That's
awesome.
Well,
my
you're there.
CrossFit gym, right? With a few young whippersnappers here and there, but there's a lot of. We don't. It's like some of the CrossFit gyms I've been to. It's like everyone's 20 to 32. It's like right in that. Like our gym's full of just a hodgepodge of all kinds of people, and it's pretty cool. And everyone in there is so supportive. And all the gyms I've ever been to, like in that CrossFit community in general, have always been really supportive. And Kenton coming from that background and building this Train to Hunt event, I think that community came with it. It's very much this. No one's like, trash talking you at the starting line.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna kick your trash, dude.
Right.
They're not in your face going.
Yeah.
And it's not like that. And no one's like hoping you're behind your back. You're gonna just
Bite it.
or It's like everyone's there to really help each person succeed.
Yeah. Once I started doing it, and once I got over that hump over the fear of failing, and people looking down upon me and all that, I got there, and I was pleasantly surprised that all these people were kind of in the same boat, and the people that weren't, that were like on a whole another level, they were like cheering you and patting you on the back and saying good job and giving you pointers and all that. So it's like if I were to say to anybody out there, it's like, if you don't think you can, that's what I get a lot of guys like, well, I'm not really in the shape to do it this year. And it's like, fine, you don't have to be you don't have to be in shape, like whatever that is in your mind. Right. If you can get up and you can go, you don't have to beat everybody.
Yeah.
The thing is, just go and compete and finish, and win that battle first, because that's the battle I had to win first. And when I won that battle, I was hooked.
Yeah.
And that translates into, now I'm a freaking director, I mean, it's like, I told Amanda, like, it's like, I can't believe this. Like 4 years ago, I was like kind of like awestruck, like, oh, here's Kenton. And
the donut eater,
the milkshake drinker, and I still like my milkshakes. I really don't like donuts that much anymore.
Yeah. Big Dipper ice cream's okay.
It is.
But
it's
donuts, they're out.
Peanut curry.
That's right.
Peanut curry ice cream I found was good. But anyways, it's just like, if basically it's like you're sitting here listening to Mom and Pop Wise from Oregon, and you know what? It's just like, praise God that God pushed us there. I saw that, and I just went, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And I went for it, and I wouldn't have met you if I, hadn't done that. I wouldn't we wouldn't be sitting here. And it's just like, and that's like, and not like we've made it anywhere really. It's just the community that Train to Hunt, is surrounded by. You just come in and you become. I always post this whenever I post it on social media. Come and be part of the family.
Yeah.
Become part of this Train to Hunt family.
That's a big reason why I go to CrossFit Happy Valley, the CrossFit gyms, because it's kind of a family.
Yeah.
It's really what we call it, CrossFit. It's like Happy Valley Mafia, whatever. Like, but there's a family feel there, and same thing in the hunting community in general, and then with Train to Hunt, it's a neat thing. Plus, it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And
I've gone to Tamarack and done like the different archery shoots, and this year I'll go to Total Archery Challenge, Northwest Mountain Challenge, and a few of these, and it's just fun to hang out with other archers and talk bow hunting and watch some films and like full draw film tour and just get involved, bring the kids and the family and do stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing I was going to add too, is that it is just another one of those events that's just great for the whole family. I mean, the community of CrossFit's great, and you touched on the hunting community, and just the archery community in general, I think is also very, really unique and just a neat community. So you combine an archery community and a CrossFit community, and it's pretty outstanding. And, but it is fun to go to these events, and you have, for us, it was important for our kids to be at them and to watch us compete. In that year that I competed, I think one of the most important things for me when I was competing in the Women's Open or in either of those was I wanted my girls to see me and to see that it's good to do hard things, and it did. Our kids all made comments on what that did for them to see us push that way and to compete together, and it was really good. It's a really good time. But yeah, for anybody to come out there, that's what I'd want to say too. Is it's really not just your CrossFitters and your professional archers. It is like a really broad group of people, and like Jesse said, I think that's the important thing, is just to not give in to that intimidation and not do it, but just to get out there, because for me, like I said, that was one of the things I was struggling with the most. But man, all I would have missed out on, and all the people I would have missed out on if I let fear or something so silly hold me back from just doing a physical challenge. So anybody that's considering it and just not sure, just do it. You have nothing to lose by trying it one time. So
what's so funny is how fear keeps us from doing so much in life. Fear can just debilitate. And I know so many people that they have some dreams they want to chase, some things they want to do, and they haven't done it because of fear.
Yeah. And fear's such a lie, usually. It's just such a lying
There's
mask.
nothing on the other side. Nope. I heard, it's a quote, but he's like, what's on the other side of fear? He says it to his kids all the time. What's on the other side of fear? And his kids are like, and he's like, nothing. Like nothing's there. No. It's really nothing. So much of it is empty. It's there's nothing really there. When you really put a thing around it, the fear's kind of silly.
Last year I did I was asked to speak to some college girls about something, and fear was actually the topic. And one of the things I thought of when I was sharing with them was when I was young, my dad, which I think he still has this mask, but he had this mask of this old man, like missing hair, just a gnarly old man face. And my dad got such joy out of scaring us with this stupid mask. And then my kids, when they came along, and I think he still has it somewhere. But anyway, there were times when my sister and I would be playing in our room, and we'd, send someone at the window, and we'd look, and there'd be that mask looking in at us. And and forever, of course, it would just freak us out. But then, or my dad would put it on and kind of walk at us funny down the hall, and try to scare us. And I hated that mask. And if he got close enough, I would rip it off of his face. But as I was sharing that, I was thinking, but that's such a lie, because as I got older, I was just like, oh, that's dad again. I hated the mask, but that's what fear is, right? It's just this mask, and you pull it away, and you're like, oh, it's just that. It's just that. So anyway,
and that's kind of the lie behind, I can't do that. It's like, why do you think you can't do that?
Dude, what's so awesome about this, so people, we're in my basement, which is awesome, right, guys?
It's got a toilet.
Amanda's freezing to death over here, but, Jesse and I are pretending like we're warm.
I'm very warm, actually. I'm fine, man. I got good circulation.
But we're in the basement, and we were talking about whatever, and Jesse said, I'm just going to out you right here.
That's fine.
It's like, I can't do a one-legged squat like pistols. I can't do a pistol.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And then your wife is like, you can't do it yet.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, we're sitting here and you're like, I can't quite do a ring muscle ups. And I can't do ring muscle ups. I can't do them. And she's like, you can't do them yet.
I don't like it when people say, or my kids say, I can't do it. Just
like she corrected you over and over.
I know.
And that's what I say to myself too. So as soon as you said it, I was like, because I wanted to say it to you, but I didn't really feel it was my place.
Bro, you got me, man.
So
you can say it.
She steps right up. She's like, Jesse, yet. And I do think that's really important that you keep that in mind. Like, maybe you can't win now, but I don't like it when people say I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it shouldn't be part of our vocabulary anymore. It's like that self-talk that we gotta. It's not like think positive all the time because sometimes things suck.
Yeah.
And they just suck, man. But you'll get through it.
Yeah.
You'll get through
I
it.
overheard a track coach the other day. I was at the park with the kids, and there was a track coach out there, and I heard a kid, and he was really on the kids, and I liked it. Like, he kept saying, "Come on!" Like, he was like, young, these are middle school track kids, and I thought, man, I like this guy. One of the kids said, he made the mistake of saying, "I can't do it," and the coach says, "Don't talk to me like that." And you would have thought he had said it better. But I thought, I like that response. Yeah, don't talk to me like that. You just can't yet. So anyway, that's a good point.
You do. You got to put. A little pushing is good. But self-talk is important. Like what we tell ourselves. So the fear at the other end is really not much. But I
hard,
also
though. It's intimidating because there's always a critic. There's always a chair critic.
Totally.
Keyboard jockey.
Yeah.
like we dumped you on this podcast tonight, and I told you how many people are going to watch it, and you're like,
you shouldn't have told me
"Wow,
that.
I would have liked to not know that
But-
ahead of time.
But it really is, but you did it. You're just like, you know what? I'm going to, woman up, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to do this.
She's really good at it, though. Like, if you put a mic in her hand or whatever, it's just like she always has some boom. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell. I mean, she's
It's
very
just better if I don't think
natural
about
at
it ahead of
Yeah.
time.
And me, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, compartmentalizing that fear, or like just setting it aside and putting it away for later. It is like, and we all people do it. I think it's part of just being human. But I think I'm going to train to hunt. I'm not like particularly training really hard for it. I'm just training like I normally do to hunt.
Yeah.
And then however it pans out while I'm hunting is how it's going to pan out. And I should probably go to some 3D shoots and like work on that. I'm thinking about it and stuff. In the meantime, I'm shooting these killer 20-yard shots right here in my basement.
There's no way that's 20 yards.
Okay,
bro.
like 18, but 17. But look at those. I mean, I'm drilling the center, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's looking good.
Well, you missed one of the yellows, but
it's
whatever.
looking good.
see, look at that. It's why you got to do that,
See what
Well,
I
I'm
do?
just,
brother? I mean,
you always got,
cuts deep, man.
somewhere to improve. I guess there's always some way to improve. Like
what I've been doing is a row, and then I do these burpees as fast as I can, and then
Yeah.
while I can't breathe, I try to shoot.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
'cause-
perfect.
Because Jesse crushed me the other day on the shooting part of that workout, and I don't like getting beat.
I hear
But
ya.
I'll deal with it if I do.
Yeah, I'm glad you're coming out. You'll love it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that there's anyone that's ever talked themselves into do a training hunt that's later went, "Oh, I really wish I didn't do training
Yeah.
to hunt."
No.
I can't imagine anyone regrets something like that.
No.
So.
So Jesse, what's it cost to register?
So to register, you can register online or just show up at the event. I would, say register online. It's $100 to register online, and you just go on Train to Hunt. You look up challenges. in
And what are the
drop-down
dates?
window.
What are the
So
what's coming up?
What's coming up soon is in 2 weeks we are going to be going down, and on April 23rd and 24th is the event down in outside of Reno. There.
Okay.
This year,
So April 23rd and 24th of
April.
this month.
23rd and 24th, 2016. We're going to be down there
In Reno,
Train
Train to Hunt event.
to Hunt Challenge opener.
Okay,
So,
and
first event.
You're going to give away.
It's not the 22nd, 23rd.
Well, the 22nd is the Friday, and this year Cabela's down there. Mike Iazzi from Cabela's, he's one of the managers down there. He, contacted us. We got a hold of Dave Baronio with Outback Outdoors, and so Cabela's is the main sponsor of the Nevada event, along with Cryptech and Browning and Wilderness Athlete. So we're putting on a pre-party down at Cabela's. They're throwing us a big party and hors d'oeuvres and all that. So that's Friday night, 5 o'clock, April 22nd.
Okay.
So for anybody who registers,
At
make
Cabela's
sure,
in-
at Cabela's in Reno.
Cool.
So
And then you're going to do a giveaway.
yes, I am. I've got one left. I've got a free entry fee.
We're going to
For
post this podcast
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
on the Gritty Bowman Instagram page, and basically to enter to win if you want to go to the event and you want your fee waived, we're going to randomly select someone who goes on to the Gritty Bowman Instagram page and leaves the comment Nevada.
Yep.
Underneath this podcast post.
In the comments.
In the comments. So go in there and type in the word Nevada, and then we're just going to do a random selection and pull somebody off that list, and you'll get to go for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so also, I mean, it show up for the community, come down and hang out.
Come and watch.
Come and volunteer. Yeah. If you volunteer at any qualifying event, it is free entry to any other qualifying event of this year.
Cool.
So, and also to mention Tim Burnett from
Solo
Hunter. He's going to be down there at the pre-party hanging out, along with Dave Baronio from Outback Outdoors and all that. So, and Kenton and I and Amanda and everybody.
Yep.
Everybody
Sounds fun,
who's anybody,
dude.
Man.
Sounds fun.
Maybe you.
Maybe. That's pretty coming up pretty quick.
Yeah. It's 2 weeks. It's close.
Yeah.
Well,
we got a lot of things in the works right now.
Yeah.
But I am going to one of them.
Yeah.
Probably the Oregon one.
Yeah.
But I would like to go to that one, and it's a possibility, but yeah, we'll see.
We got some options this year, right? Washington, Oregon, Idaho.
we got 15 events this year. 15 qualifiers and a national championship, which is going to be held in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome.
And there's women's open, men's open. You could be a women's team, men's team, co-ed team, masters, women's masters, super masters, men's masters. So anyway, there's a category for just about everyone.
Yep.
I was gonna do masters, but I think I have a better chance in the open.
Yeah.
The masters kind of
I heard there was
last year.
I heard there was some bona fide badasses in the masters.
Well, Scott Carr is like, I mean, you see him on Instagram and social media. The guy doesn't stop, and I think he's got a vendetta, man. It's just like he just didn't like how he finished at nationals the last few years, and I think he's gonna.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's out for blood this year, but.
Well, I want to go for the community, like I said, get to know people, and just because it also, once you get it under your belt, it's like, oh, I've done that before, and that carries over into the hunting. It cannot do anything except make you better when it comes hunting season.
Yep,
it can't do anything but improve you.
Yeah, and it being a competition, it's a competition. We don't run competitions to lose, right?
Yeah.
We run to win, but the win. In a train to hunt, everybody wins that runs this thing. Everybody wins because you win with the ability to know where your weakness is.
Yeah.
And you work on it, right? And it's just like CrossFit or whatever you do. It's like it teaches you where you're weak and you just work on that weakness.
Yeah, like weighted lunges. And for you, pistols.
Or pistols or ring muscle ups. Or
They're so useful.
I can do those, no problem.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. We'll try to get this thing up tomorrow, actually.
Cool.
And
can I drop something else for like the Oregon event too?
Drop it.
Okay, so Oregon is July 9th and 10th, and the pre-party for Oregon is going to be on the 8th, Friday night. Tentatively, I have Jimmy Herman coming out.
Sweet.
So I've talked with him, and he said he's going to compete, and he's also going to come out for the pre-party and maybe play some music. So
nice.
Yeah, so that should be fun.
And since we're on the Oregon, for families that want to come out, there are some camping spots out there. It's at Cascadian Bowmen.
Yep.
Just outside of Eugene towards Florence. But there's definitely spots for tents or trailers and a playground. It's a great place for families to come out to for the weekend. So
yeah,
that's really cool.
Yep.
That's really cool. I will, July what?
July 9th and 10th.
Second weekend in July.
I'll see you there.
Cool.
Nice.
I'll see you there. And then I'll beat you.
Well, actually, I'm not going to compete at that one because I'm directing it.
Oh.
So, along with the Nevada.
Oh,
So.
I just took the fun
Way
out of it for him.
to slip out of that one.
But you know what? We could train together,
Yeah.
and I will prove to you that you can't beat me.
Okay, give me like 3 months, and then. Oh, good times, man. Thanks. I appreciate
for
you.
having
Thanks for
us.
having
Appreciate
us
it.
on.
Stay
man.
gritty. Okay, gritty friends. I hope you enjoyed that podcast. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a review on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher. We love reading your reviews. And connect with us on social media if you're on there. Look us up on Facebook and Instagram, and take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can receive notifications when we upload new videos. We've got a sweet deal with Mountain Ops. You get 20% off on all Mountain Ops supplements, combo packs, and apparel when you type in the word gritty at checkout. If you're a hardcore elk hunter, or you want to be, go to the Elk 101 website online and check them out. Our friend Corey Jacobson is killing it with some of the best elk hunting information and entertainment on the web. If you haven't heard, we're doing a huge gear giveaway to try and grow and expand the gritty community on Facebook and Instagram. I asked a bunch of friends to pitch in on this gear giveaway, and they all came through with some awesome stuff. Our friends at Kafaru, Rockslide, First Light, Phelps Game Calls, One Shot Gear, Mountain Ops, Triple X Archery, Blacktail Outdoors, and Is It September Yet are pitching in some sweet gear for the giveaway. We'll announce all the details in the next few weeks. All you have to do to be entered to win is like our Gritty Bowmen Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. All right, friends, let me leave you with one other quote from Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "It behooves every man to remember that the work of the critic is of altogether secondary importance, and that, in the end, progress is accomplished by the man who does things." We all have a choice. We can be people who do things or people who criticize the work of others. It's pretty simple, really. Get out there and do your thing. Good luck on your hunts, and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowmen.
Gritty Bowmen.